showing off. I may be old, but I can still move around. Just about everything that I wanted to say has been said much more eloquently than I could. I want to thank all of you. I want to thank the indigenous peoples that have been here and been with me over the last few days. I've learned so much. I'm so grateful for your courage. I learned several years ago of what you've been doing in British Columbia, for example. I mean, you have stopped pipelines just because of your courage with your bodies and your blood, and I'm just so proud, and I'm so grateful to Melina for making this all happen. I met Melina a couple of years ago at a rally, a climate rally in Vancouver, and she told me about her tribe and how it's been impacted by the tar sands, and she said that she would love me to experience a flyover, and we've been talking about it over the ensuing years, and so, gosh, it wasn't very long ago when she called me and she told me what Prime Minister Trudeau had done, and that there were approved new pipelines, and could I come and do a flyover. Well, it was 40 below. There was a lot of snow. It probably wasn't the best time to do it, but you know, we're just about to start some really big fights in the United States, so I thought I'm going to go now, very quickly, while I can. I'll take advantage of it. Not to trash Fort McMurray, not to come out against the people who are working there. I understand the need to go where the money is and get paid a decent wage. I understand that. It's bigger than Fort Murray. It's bigger than Alberta. It's bigger than Canada. It's bigger. It's a global problem. And I've learned over the 50 years that I've been an activist that it does help to be a celebrity, to raise the issue and get press to come when they might not come out and cover, and it encourages the dialogue and debate, which is so important. The fact is, we are at a unique time in human history. This has never happened before. At the horrendous election in the United States on November 8th, when literally we looked at each other and wept, and some people threw up, and people said, I don't belong here. This is a nightmare. We're going to wake up from this. But then others said, look, 4 years. You know, we'll survive this, we'll fight, and in 4 years we'll... And I said, no, you don't understand. This is a very different situation now. We don't have time. We don't have time. There is a point, a tipping point. If we don't do what's right before we hit the tipping point, it's going to be too late. Things are going to get really, really bad, even if we do the right things starting yesterday. It's going to get bad. The refugees we're seeing now are going to be multiplied many times over. They're fleeing lands that cannot support a family anymore. There's drought, there's flooding, it's so hot in some parts of the world that a human being cannot go outside and survive. I mean, this is the reality now. And if we don't start doing what's right very, very quickly, then it's going to be uninhabitable. Indigenous peoples have been warning us about how human beings should relate to the land for centuries, and we didn't listen, and now we're reaping what we've sowed. And I am so moved that our Indigenous peoples are still willing to stand with us and again try to explain what has to happen. I mean, it's amazing the generosity that shows. Most of what I wanted to say has already been said. I want to emphasize, because I know it was pretty intense in Fort McMurray. I know that it's not pleasant for people who are scared and hurting because of the uncertainty of their work when some movie star bops in on a plane and, you know, is criticizing the possibility of new pipelines. I get it, and I'm sympathetic to that. But the fact is, we're not against you. We have a common enemy. And sooner or later, we have to realize that, and we have to stand together. You've been lied to. You've been lied to by people telling you that environmentalists are against you. That's not true. You've been lied to by saying there's no alternative. We really depend on oil. Everything we do, we can't possibly move in another direction quick enough. It's going to be a very, very slow. Wrong. All you have to do is look at the countries around the world that have already done it. I mean, for heaven's sake, I had electricity from a windmill. I had a home that was entirely solar. My electricity came from photovoltaic cells since the 1970s already. The technology has been there. What we have to do is what has already been said. We have to think we're going into a world war, and we have to make the kind of political commitment that you make when you enter a war or you want to go to the moon, with every single ounce of our courage and commitment. And we have to get our leaders to do it, or we have to throw them out. I am so tired of being seduced by good-looking liberals. Black or white, neoliberalism has got to go, okay? That's not where the solutions lie. The alternatives are much more job intensive. They're there for the having. We just have to have a government that supports it and makes the commitment and get him to do the right thing. You know, he cares about being popular. I think one of the reasons that he caved the way he did to the extractors is because he wants to get reelected and he needs money. Let's make him feel sorry that he did it and make him change his ways. I mean, Trump's a lost cause, forget it. We call him the predator in chief. And his billionaire cabinets of abusers. I mean, it is really tragic. People think I'm rude to Trudeau. I'll be way ruder to Trump. And I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I love Canada. Always when I've come here to make movies, I cross through customs and I enter Canada and I feel like I'm in a safe, liberated zone. You know, I mean, wow, I love Canada. But I just want to say we're all in the same boat. Time is running out. Let's not fight each other. Let's join together with compassion and empathy to make it right before it's too late. Thank you.